I am here to tell you never trust your creepy neighbor. After reading some of your guys' stories, I feel ready to share my very creepy and uncomfortable encounter. So, this has been a few years since this happened, but to this day, I almost I feel almost sick thinking about that night. When I was in my very early 20s, I lived in some pretty shitty, albeit cheap too, apartments that were known for being a little sketchy for that area. Is in the US, by the way. There was this neighbor that always seemed to be listening to James Brown and Motown. So even though he seemed a bit off, I thought, how could he be that weird if he is chilling to some old school music? I'd hear him blast his music and have louder conversations. But then again, we both had studio apartments that were touching, so I just would play music to not hear his so loudly. One night he was drinking a lot and had his girlfriend around. You could hear him being belligerent, but nothing that seemed out of the ordinary for him, I suppose. It wasn't too late, so I headed out for the night with some friends while my boyfriend at the time stayed in. I got dropped off around 1 a.m. or so as we were driving into the parking lot from afar. We see my neighbor outside in between cars and the apartment, looking sorta odd. I'm scared. Okay, weird, whatever. This guy is kinda just creepy, anyways. At that point, my friends were more weirded out than I was, but I didn't think much of it and had them drop me off near the entrance because it was easier for them to leave. That was until they drove away and I woke up to go into my apartment, which I had to pass his first. I swear my heart dropped because he was standing still by then with his body hidden by the bush. That's normal. Oh my god. That is between our apartments, like the funny Homer Simpson meme, but actually not funny. Yeah, not funny in real life at 1 a.m. whatsoever because as I approached, it seemed like he thought maybe I didn't see him, bro, because it was so dark out and he was still as a statue. Bro, I waved and mumbled hi because I freaking see you and I'm not going to pretend that I don't at this point. That's very good. Who knows what he wanted to do? Like, bro. So don't even try anything since no one was out on a weekday at this hour. At the point, after acknowledging he was there, he stepped out of the side of the bush and came into the dim porch light, and never in my life have I looked into eyes like that. Oh my god, my heart is racing as I type this. They were widened, dark, fully dilated, 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 bro. You know, just like a wild animal. He was onto something, I'm sure. almost lunatic, if I were to express his energy as well. He didn't say anything but gave me a bone chilling look, and I ran into my apartment immediately. Oh my god, that's good, you could run. My boyfriend was drowsy since it was late, but he did say neighbors' music was loud and continued for some time, and he heard a ton of noise and arguing earlier. Ugh. But didn't think anything of it. That night, all night, we had thumps, and it also sounded like furniture was moving. Bro, now it just weirded me out knowing he was awake in the statue I viewed him in the state, sorry, in the state I viewed him in, which seemed almost primal. The next morning I heard the cops outside banging on his door and was partially relieved to see them, but then super scared of why they were there in the first place. So you didn't call them, someone else did. They took him away in handcuffs, thank God. Shortly after, demanding to be let in and asked me when was the last time I had talked or see him, and I told him about that night, the arguing, noises, frightening encounters, and thumping all night. He was on something, I think. What I found out during the next day will make my stomach turn forever. I was told this from the groundskeeper. Details I will keep simple since it was horrendous. Girl, don't scare me. What the fuck happened? The Motown, that Motown James Brown listening neighbor brutally murdered his girlfriend that night. Bro. Bro, you were the next victim or what? He was ready for the second? Like what? How do you even do that? That dude is, oh my gosh. He was like, no, no, I'm not done. I'm not done. I wanna off someone else. Like the fuck? Cuckoo, whoa. Oh my god. Brutally murdered his girlfriend that night, dismembered parts of her, and dragged the rest of her body near the train tracks, which was directly behind our apartments. God damn. It hit me that the cold primer and wide eyed look I had seen in that man was that of a person who just took another human being's life in such a vicious, disgusting way. I felt so sad for this woman, of course, who did not deserve to go like that. She was always quiet, sweet, and seemed a bit down on her luck, usually asking for cigarettes when I encountered her. To this day, my stomach turns thinking about how close I was to death, quite literally, and how he could have ambushed me out of insanity since oh, he was just waiting in the darkness when I walked up. Basically, to all of you who followed their intuition and gut feeling, listen to it. If you have the bad feeling about someone, even if they seem harmless, stay safe. Distance the hell away from them. I moved into a different apartment. Same. I will fucking do the same. Right after, because it was too much thinking about what had happened. That neighbor went to jail and I saw him and I saw his booking photo. So damn scary to see him again. And I just hope he's staying in jail where he belongs. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's absolutely shocking. I didn't read the story before and it was such a shocker to read it. Like, oh my god. Listen to your intuition. If you think something is fishy, stop being a people pleaser. It's better to be rude than somewhere in a suitcase. Like, listen to me. I'm older. And I hope you guys learned something from this story because I sure learned a lot. This was 5 years ago. I hope that bastard stays in that prison for a long time. Thank you guys for staying this long with me. If you like the way I narrate, please like and subscribe or comment your experience. I will love to read it. See you next time. Bye. Shh.